I mean, I think she launched a fake Me Too allegation against him, and she's lived to regret doing it because virtually every allegation she has made has fallen apart. And so for her to be honored for doing that, to try to ruin a man over absolutely nothing, is a scandal. And obviously they're looking for big stars to come here and generate pages on their magazines, but that was very wrong.
Right. My life was influenced most by my mother. Sitting here tonight,
Megyn Kelly has just pulled back the curtain on what Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds have been desperately trying to keep under wraps following their appearance at the 100 Gala. What was meant to be another glamorous night for Hollywood's golden couple quickly turned into a moment of reckoning. In a bold move, Kelly openly challenged Blake's carefully maintained image, calling out what she described as manipulative behavior right in front of the audience. The incident reportedly sent shockwaves through the event, with witnesses claiming the pair had an intense argument behind the scenes afterward. Insiders suggest that Blake's obsession with perfection may have pushed her to use even those closest to her, including family, to preserve her public persona. Now, the fallout from that night has everyone questioning how deep the cracks in their seemingly perfect image really go.
Blake and Ryan and her mother decided to attend the TIME100 Gala. There they are. Look, I got to be honest, they are trying so hard. All these photos are just so ridiculous. Look at the gown. This photo really took the cake for me. And I don't know if you noticed over here. Who is this woman? She is my spirit animal because she wants nothing to do with this malarkey. She's like, oh God, get me out of here. Now this one right here, you're going to see in a second. That's Leslie Sloan. There she is. Here's my hero. Whoever, I don't know who that is, but I love her stone face. And there's Leslie Stone, which we get for the first time. She doesn't tend to like to be in the press, but we're going to put her in the press. There she is with Blake's mother, Ryan, on the red carpet as they get ready for photo ops, having a good time. Look how much fun they are having at the red carpet event, because, you know, that's what couples who are suffering with traumatic, crippling fear and harassment do, is they go out and smile for cameras and act like there's nothing happening. You know, Ryan looks terrified. Like Ryan genuinely stuck between these women. All a PR stunt. I'm like uncomfortable. I'm visibly uncomfortable watching them sort of force themselves to events. So we were all asking, why are they at this event? What's actually...
The TIME100 Gala was meant to be a dazzling night of recognition, a celebration where stars shimmered in designer gowns, smiles gleamed under soft lights, and compliments flowed as freely as champagne. But what began as another glamorous evening for Hollywood's elite quickly spiraled into one of the most uncomfortable and revealing moments of Blake Lively's public life. When journalist Megyn Kelly stepped onto the stage, her confidence was unmistakable. The audience, filled with actors, moguls, and influencers, expected a routine speech packed with polished praise. Instead, Kelly delivered something no one saw coming. After scanning the crowd, her gaze settled on Blake Lively's table. Her tone hardened, and the atmosphere instantly shifted. "We're here tonight to celebrate influence," Kelly began, her voice cutting through the hum of conversation. But influence carries a responsibility, especially when it's built on carefully curated illusions. The crowd turned toward Blake, whose perfect smile faltered under the sudden spotlight. Then Kelly revealed the receipts. Behind her, a large screen displayed screenshots from past interviews in which Blake described the heartfelt origins of her beverage brand, Betty Buzz, claiming it was inspired by her mother's recipes and created in her own kitchen. But Kelly's tone sharpened further. "That's not the story employees tell," she said. "They describe a professional development team doing the actual work, while Blake refined the image for publicity." A low murmur rippled through the ballroom. Those near Blake's table described her face draining of color, her hands trembling slightly as she stared forward. Even Ryan Reynolds, usually quick with humor in tense moments, sat motionless. The charm and composure that often defined him were gone. "You could see the moment it hit him," one attendee recalled. This wasn't light criticism, it was a public dismantling of everything they'd built together. Kelly pressed on, presenting a reel of interview clips showing Blake contradicting herself in multiple accounts of her brand's creation. "Blake wants the public to see her as a self-made visionary," Kelly said, "but she leaves out key facts, her privileged background, her Hollywood connections, and the skilled team that actually executes her ideas." The room grew heavy with silence. No one touched their drinks. Publicists shifted nervously, typing frantically on their phones. Then came the sharpest blow. Kelly turned her focus to Blake's most cherished image, the devoted mother and family-driven entrepreneur. She's portrayed herself as the hands-on mom pouring her family's legacy into her business, Kelly continued. But insiders say her involvement is mostly symbolic. It's a well-rehearsed performance, convincing, but not authentic. Her final words hung in the air. Tonight, we're not celebrating Blake Lively the actress or the businesswoman. We're confronting Blake Lively the illusionist, a woman who's built her empire on an image that doesn't exist. From the stage, Kelly watched as the impact settled. Cameras caught Blake leaning toward Ryan, whispering urgently, her composure completely gone. Her eyes darted across the room, already calculating the fallout. In that instant, the shimmering mask of Hollywood perfection cracked. The couple once seen as untouchable had been publicly exposed, and the entire room witnessed the moment their carefully crafted illusion collapsed.
Are you gonna be avoiding her inside because she's expected to be here with Ryan?
I have a feeling she's going to be avoiding me. I won't be avoiding anybody.
Yeah.
I'm good.
And what do you think of her new movie, Another Simple Favor? People are saying she's feuding with Anna. Do you believe that? Or?
I couldn't care less, but I do care when people bastardize Me Too allegations against, people who don't deserve it. And I think, notwithstanding the fact that they can lawyer up with very powerful PR people and lawyers and so on, we have to be very clear-eyed on what looks real and what doesn't, and call it out when it isn't. Otherwise, no one who's actually experienced these things is going to be believed.
Well, I got to give Megyn Kelly, hold on, this is going to hurt me to say, so much credit here for basically saying, we don't care about her movie, A Simple Favor 2 or whatever. Who cares? The point is, if she made up these Me Too allegations, which Megyn Kelly rightfully says pretty much every one of her allegations has been explained away, then she's bastardizing a movement. So this gets in the way of real victims. By standing up against somebody who made something up, if she did, you are clearing the path so victims have a sort of a highway, a transportation to get to the authorities, to get to the people that can help them, whether it be to share their story and be believed. It gets rid of the boy who cried wolf, if Blake Lively is that.
And what do you think of Hugh Jackman and Taylor Swift being dragged into this? Do you think it's unfair or?
Well, look, either Taylor Swift is her dragon or she isn't. I don't know. That's what Blake Lively says, so I guess I'll have to take her at her word, even though I really shouldn't. So if I were Taylor, I'd speak out about it. Obviously, she's reportedly distanced herself from Blake Lively. All right.
Yeah, there it is. So Taylor Swift deciding not to comment really at all publicly about this shows that she's...
The TIME100 Gala was meant to be a glittering evening of recognition, a celebration of the world's most influential figures gathered beneath dazzling lights and camera flashes. For Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, it was supposed to be another effortless showcase of their charm and poise. Instead, it became the night their carefully built image began to crumble. The turning point came when Megyn Kelly took the stage. With her trademark confidence, she approached the podium before a room full of A-list stars and industry giants. The audience expected the usual polished tribute, but the tone shifted instantly when Kelly's gaze found Blake Lively's table. "We're here tonight to celebrate influence," she began, her voice steady but cutting. Yet influence comes with responsibility, especially when that influence is built on illusion. A hush fell across the ballroom. Cameras captured Blake's frozen smile and Ryan's tense posture. What followed was not applause, but stunned silence. When Kelly left the stage, the tension spilled beyond the spotlight. Blake and Ryan swiftly exited the main hall, avoiding reporters and skipping the customary photos. According to an event staffer, the moment they were out of sight, Blake's composed exterior shattered. The calm, camera-ready actress was gone, replaced by someone overwhelmed and furious. The source described her as pacing, shouting, and visibly shaken, at one point throwing her phone across the room in frustration. Meanwhile, Ryan Reynolds, often the smooth-talking jokester, was said to be in full damage control mode, phone in hand, urgently coordinating with their PR team. His normally calm, witty demeanor vanished. "He wasn't the cool guy everyone knows," said one witness. "He was panicked." He understood how serious this was. As the two scrambled to contain the fallout, their private exchange revealed more than they intended. "We need to get our story straight before anyone talks to the press," Ryan reportedly told Blake, a comment that raised eyebrows among those nearby. It wasn't about explaining the truth, it was about shaping it. Blake's anger soon turned outward. Insiders claim she lashed out at her team, demanding to know how Megyn Kelly had been allowed to speak without prior vetting. "Someone's getting fired for this," she allegedly fumed. But what shocked staffers most was her next order, a demand that all footage of Kelly's speech be scrubbed from public record. According to multiple insiders, Blake even threatened legal action against Time if the material wasn't destroyed. Rather than confront the story directly, she and Ryan chose to vanish entirely, skipping the after-party they typically dominated. Their sudden absence only deepened the speculation and fueled whispers that the couple was in full crisis mode. Yet even as Blake and Ryan hid from the spotlight, a far more damaging revelation was already spreading through industry circles. During her speech, Megyn Kelly had unveiled evidence suggesting that Blake's most beloved brand narrative, the one centered on her mother, was built on manipulation. For years, Blake had portrayed Betty Buzz as a heartfelt family project, inspired by her mother Elaine's recipes and their shared love of entertaining. But Kelly revealed internal communications that painted a very different picture. In one leaked message, Blake instructed her marketing team to lean harder into the mother narrative for the holiday campaign. Another directive requested vintage photos of Elaine in a kitchen setting, purely for promotional use. Former Betty Buzz employees backed up these claims, stating that Elaine's role had been largely symbolic. "She came to the office once for photos," one product developer said. "She didn't create any recipes. Everything was handled by professionals." Behind the warm, family-oriented branding lay a cold marketing strategy, one designed to humanize the product by exploiting a personal image. Kelly even shared a message in which Blake wrote, "Sales are dipping. Push the mom angle harder. Get those old kitchen photos out again." The timing of that message matched perfectly with a new wave of ad campaigns celebrating Blake's family heritage. Marketing expert Tara Winters later reviewed the material and offered a blunt assessment. The campaign wasn't authentic storytelling, it was image engineering. What the public saw as sincerity, insiders now recognized as a calculated illusion. By the end of the night, it was clear that Megyn Kelly's words had done more than embarrass Hollywood's favorite couple, they had cracked the foundation of their brand. Behind the glamour and good humor, a different reality was exposed, one built on strategy, performance, and control. The once untouchable duo had been stripped of their sheen, leaving the world to wonder just how much of their story had ever been real. This is an inspiration. This is commodification. Blake is turning her mother's life into a campaign tool. It's manipulative and dangerous. Adding to the discomfort was Elaine's conspicuous absence from 4 major product launches. Despite Blake's team citing scheduling conflicts, Elaine had been spotted in New York during at least 2 of the events, but was not invited to attend. Texts from Blake revealed a telling tone. "Keep mom out this time. Focus on childhood nostalgia instead." Perhaps the most damning detail came from someone close to Elaine. "She feels used," the family friend confided. "She loves Blake and wants to support her, but she's deeply uncomfortable with how her life story is being distorted." Kelly's final blow, a message Blake had allegedly sent during the launch of a new flavor. "Emphasize mom's struggle. People eat that stuff up." The curated image of Blake as a devoted daughter building a legacy brand was beginning to rot from the inside. And the deeper the scrutiny, the more synthetic it all seemed. "I am the end." Kelly's takedown wasn't just a speech. It was a dismantling of a brand, of a myth, of a woman who had sold the world an image so polished, so pristine, it left no room for imperfection, but behind the velvet curtains and Instagram filters. The truth is leaking through the cracks, and Blake Lively may not be able to hold it together much longer. Much to say about the last 2 years of my life, but tonight is not the forum. So, does that mean she's going to do an Oprah interview? Oh my God. Bring it on. What I will speak to separately is the feeling of being a woman who has a voice today. Sorry I keep interrupting, but I got to add commentary. And I'm so sick of her saying a woman who has a voice today. As if she didn't have a voice previously. Girl, you have one of the loudest voices I've seen in Hollywood. You stole the entire damn movie from Justin. You threatened him. I will not promote this unless I get this. I will not do this unless you get that. I will not sign that until I get this. You have the biggest voice I've seen. I've watched far too many interviews. You're all about authorship and getting your way. So, don't you dare keep trying to play like you are a woman.